Right, morning, ledges. How you doing? I hope everybody's good. What I'm gonna do is first of all is I'm just gonna put it onto the Discord, the live sort of. I'm gonna share it. Let me just share it with everybody. Hopefully we can get a few in on the Discord. I'll put it out there. Let's make sure everybody knows that we're live. See if we can get them jump in. Yeah, just done that. Cool. Right. Morning, Swifty. Dan, how you doing? It's good to talk again. It is good to talk again, guys. Got a bit of a cold. Morning, Aidan. How you doing? I don't think it's COVID again, though. Seems to be like... must have had every single cold and flu virus in the UK. Just keep coming one after the other, but I keep taking COVID tests. Nothing at all at the moment. So, it's one of them. I just got to get on with it, haven't you guys? Went Alton Towers yesterday. Had a good day. That was pretty decent. I really enjoyed it. Expensive. Everything's gone up in price. Like, for a slice of pizza, you're talking crazy money. Even to park your car, it's crazy money. The tickets are crazy money. The pictures that you get, like you want off a ride is crazy money. So, it was good though. It was worth it. Morning, Sir Ravage. How you doing? You alright? Dodgy Rev. Good morning. How you doing? Oh, Doogie. How you doing? Yeah, I've seen Doogie in the room. For any of you guys that aren't in the Discord room, right, let me know and I'll send you the link for the Discord. It's been good, to be fair. Morning, Abes. How you doing? It's been really good. Ian, how you doing, Ian? Told Ian the Holy Grail secret last night by DM. But his head's blown. It's the key to unfound wealth and riches. Morning, Mark. How you doing? So yeah, guys, it's good to get back on and talk. I am going to carry on with these lives. I do enjoy it, to be fair. The Discord room's really good though. I've really enjoyed just watching other people talk about trading. It's obvious from how people talk about the trading and how they're approaching the markets that they're very passionate about it. We've only had to ban one person, so we've had to ban one person. I think there's 150 people in there at the moment. I think probably 50 of them are quite active. In between 30 and 50 are very active, and then there's probably, I don't know, the rest of them that are sort of like, not lurking, they're just trying to obviously watch what's going on and get a feel for it. But I think it's quite good, like we've only had to ban one person, and he wasn't really that bad. He just sounded quite aggressive. I don't know if he'd been drinking or something like that, I don't know. But it was just from how he was sort of suggesting the things to people that I just thought, no, that's a bit aggressive, that is. So I just banned him. Morning, Liam. Morning, Trend the Market. Matt, how you doing? Steve? Victor? Good stuff. Good to see you in here, guys. So as you can see, right, my account, I'm still treading water above $3,000. It's been a rough ride, honestly. October was a really bad month for me. It was just very volatile, very sort of, difficult from a psychological aspect to deal with, especially trading my method. Obviously, everybody's on the Discord saying, "Oh, Mark, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this," but I've seen these months before, and I've even seen these periods for longer than a month, 2 or 3 months, where it's just been absolutely dreadful. But I can guarantee the minute that I change my trading style or try and do something different is the minute that my strategy starts paying out again. So I've just got to get through it. This is trading. You can't make money every week, every month. If you can, then fair play to you. You are a way better trader than me. And how I trade is just to stay in the game and just to make sure that I'm still in the game. I've still got my account balance. So the next time that my strategy sets up and starts paying out again, it just sucks that like... The one thing is though, I looked back through my results on I think it was October the 15th. It was an amazing day on my live account. I scaled out of it too quickly, and I didn't get the size on that I needed on this challenge account, and that's upset me. Like, that's upset my account balance. So it's not really lined up with my live account. My live account is slightly higher, and I haven't done as bad on that as I've explained in previous videos, and that's a bit of a kick in the balls basically, and there's nothing I can do about that other than next time this sets up I'm gonna have to smash it. But I just haven't had the trades. What I've been doing though over the last week especially was I didn't really trade, and I had a couple of entries last week, and as soon as I got it, literally I entered the market within 1 or 2 minutes. I thought this is gonna turn around again, and I got straight out of it. So I think I lost like £14 and like £16, and it wasn't even worth me saying like I got into the market, because it's literally as soon as I pressed buy or sell, I knew straight away that my strategy had put me in at the bottom or the top of the move, and I was like, no, I'm done, straight out. So I got straight out, and I've managed to control my losses, which is the good thing. Like, I haven't spiraled. I haven't gone into a major sort of depression with my psychology and how I think about it. It is what it is. And I'm sure that there's loads of people that have to deal with this type of stuff. Like, trading isn't a game where you can just jump onto a platform and make money. If you can, as I've said, that is amazing. You are like some sort of top trader. But for me, how I trade and how I want to trade is this way, because it's like good for my personality. It means that I'm not literally sat like a meth addict in front of the computer all day, and this is just how it is. Like, sometimes I only take one trade a day, sometimes no trades a day. So like, you're never gonna get you're not gonna get periods where you're making like 10% one day, 8% the next, 6% another. It just doesn't happen with a mechanical trading system like that. It doesn't, especially when you've just got one of them. Like, it's basically impossible for that to happen. But what it is possible to happen is you don't do your account, you won't blow up, you won't risk that much, and do your psychology on a day, because you're trading that much that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, you won't be having a heart attack behind a screen because your account balance, you've lost like 6 or 7 hours in a day. That's not possible too. So obviously, and trying to explain to people in the Discord that my wins and loss sequences are like quite shallow. But like, if you're a day trader who's like risking every day, and he's trading like 10 or 12 trades, his will be way more sort of exaggerated. He'll have way bigger ups and way harsher downs. This is how I want to trade. It's good for my psychology. It's good for how I see the markets. It's good for my lifestyle, and it keeps me coming back every day. So yeah, still above £3,000, hanging on by a thread. I was thinking that I was going to go below it basically, but having the ability to sort of just get out of the losers very quickly, and basically, like knowing that my strategy at the moment just isn't paying out. And for me now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wait for the perfect day. I explained to Ian the other night, and I was saying to him, rather than going for the entries over the day type, I'm going for the day type that I need to see first to give me an entry, trying to get the perfect entry. And that at the moment, with how my strategy is playing out, and you might think, oh, well, you're trying to cherry pick. I think I can do. I think I've got the experience to cherry pick. And like, the day type, for me yesterday was an amazing day. And if we would have had this drive up hold yesterday, that was very close to, and I was like, oh, I'm sat at Alton Towers and this is setting up, but it never set up properly. So as you can see, right, we had the leg up. Now that to me is, I'm thinking stuff. I was licking my lips. I was at Alton Towers, and I kept on checking my phone and thinking, right, this is a serious trend day. We had the open drive. Literally 1 minute past 8 yesterday, I was on the Discord saying, we've got an open drive. I think this is an open drive straight away. Why did I say that? If you go to the 1 minute time frame, it's very, very sort of aggressive how we took the top of the initial balance out. Let me just show you quickly, because it's just like, these are the pointers that you can get into. Look at that candle, right? So how I define an open drive in my old playbook, which I use discretionary with, and you want to really sort of have a look at this, because it doesn't happen very often. Now, we have a tight balance, as you can see, and that's the balance high at 7.13. Now, in one candle, at like literally on 8 o'clock, we literally take the roof off the top of the balance. That to me is an open drive. And then we're looking at the consolidation here, and you're thinking, right, it's gone into a tight bull flag and we're going to break out the top. Now, that for me, when you get it happen on the 1 minute time frame, a lot of the time it then rolls over and sets up on the 5 minute time frame going into the US Open, which goes into another entry on my playbook where you get a tight flag into the US Open and then we extend again, right? But that never happened. That part never happened yesterday. Now I was thinking in here, this is going to give me an entry, and it didn't ruin my day yesterday at Alton Towers. But I'm thinking to myself, right, if this thing goes through here at this point here, so I'd like draw that in like so, and I'm thinking to myself, like all this down here hadn't happened. I'm thinking to myself, right, probably a little bit too early, but the setup's there, and this thing, if it breaks out of this high here and breaks out of this sort of downtrend sort of slope in this area, this is gonna go, and we're gonna have a proper good old trend day, and I was gonna get long. So that for me is like cherry picking. If that would have happened, that would have been, and I know it didn't happen, so it kept me out of the market. But if it would have happened, and we would have broken out there, and we would have seen the momentum, I would have definitely smashed that long, definitely, with 60 quid risk and gone through it with a tight stop. And I think I would have got really good R on that day. But it never really happened. We come back down to test the top of balance in this region here, and I was sort of half thinking it here. This was an entry for me, this candle here and this candle here, but at this point here I was sort of just coming out of the park, and I was thinking, right, well, if it was going to be really bullish day, then why did we not go here or here? Like, then it becomes a top of balance retest, and at this stage in the day, a top of balance retest doesn't really ever result in a trend day. It will result in as maybe pushing up into this high here, but the actual day type of a proper trend day, it isn't. Because, let me just clarify what I mean. When you get a proper trend day, it never comes back to retest the top of balance on a proper trend day. A proper trend day doesn't do that. You get an open drive, you get a leg up, a pullback, and then you go again on a proper trend day, and it just goes all day until the close. So the reason that I didn't hit it, as I'm thinking to myself, well, hang on a minute, it's come all the way back in to test the top of balance, right? That, by definition, isn't a trend day. Yes, we can still get a move higher. Yes, like we can go higher and, push on, and there might be potential are there, but the overall day type, it wasn't there for me, because what the hell are we doing back down here if it's a trend day? Do you get what I'm saying? So just trying to explain to you how I was seeing the market set up yesterday. But at this point here, before this candle had happened at 11:10, and we broke these lows here, and we started coming down, I thought to myself, this is going to go. It's a perfect setup. We're going to get the trend day. We're going to get the next leg up, and it's going to be a big day. So that's something that I've got to do. For me, again, this day type here, like, it looks good at the moment. We could pull back into here, and I will try and hit it long, but it's one of them. I'm trying to be very, very picky now with my entries, basically. Does that make sense to anybody? Exactly, Matt. The Dow was beneath its IV at that time. I completely concur with that assessment. If it was going to happen yesterday and we were going to get the big move on the DAX, it wouldn't have happened from this point. Very unlikely. Way more likely to have happened in here if we were going to go for it, but we didn't. So that had me thinking to myself, right, okay, I'm sort of trying to make R when the R probably isn't there, basically. And are you picking pennies up in front of a steamroller on the day type? Probably so. So along with me being at Alton Towers, along with me trying to enjoy my day, I just thought it's just not worth it at that point. So let me just go through some free edge that I've got, and then I'll get into the comments with everybody, right? So the other day on the Discord, and I don't know if this can help anybody, but how I'm looking at things at the moment is I'm trying to come up with a way of trading a mean reversion type system on the DAX where I aren't just hitting for trend days, right? Now, I will talk everybody through this edge and see if you can add anything to it. Hit me up in the Discord if you can, and you come up with anything good to it. But when you get the initial balance, which is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. UK time, right? When you get the daily pivot and it opens, when the initial balance opens at 8, the daily pivot is inside the initial balance. Over the last 17 times it's happened, 12 of the times by 2:50, the market's come and hit back into the pivot. Right, so can you build a mechanical entry around that? I think you can, and I've been looking at all types of different entries and stuff like that. So today, right, it's happened today. Now, it happened yesterday when we come. I was saying that this potentially here looked like a trend day yesterday in the Discord. But with this pivot being inside, we didn't hit the pivot. We come very, very close to it. But yesterday would have been one of the days where you couldn't mechanically say that we'd hit the pivot and come back and retested it. We hadn't. Today, we've had it out open again, right? So the pivot is inside the initial balance. Just draw the initial balance in there so everybody can see. And this dashed line is a daily pivot. Okay? That's your 8 o'clock candle. There, right? That's your low of your 7 o'clock candle. This point here. The pivot is inside the IB, right? So, if you can build a system that aims for the pivot, and you give yourself like maybe one entry or two entries to try and build an entry into this here. Look at the potential R now that we've got. If you're riding this into the US session at 250, you've got potential R, right? Now, could you go down to the 1 minute time frame? Could you build in an entry like an exponential moving average cross? Let's go to the 20 and the 5 and put them on and see. Right, so let's see if we can get any divergence as well with like a MACD or an RSI. Right, okay, so look at that there for an entry. Now, I'm not saying that this will be the system that you want to use, but if you get a leg up out of balance, the R is there, you know, to the pivot. You can see that, you know, like if you took this crossover here, you've got the divergent highs, you've got a leg up, you've got a cross of the 20 and the 5, and you put your stop above that point there. Your stop's going to go here, like so. Now, the R there on that cross is decent, isn't it? You know, how many have you got there? Let's just count them in. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 R to the pivot. Now, I think this you guys and me should look into that with a little bit more sort of, you know, into a lot more detail. Like, is the edge there? Like, I've same as say, 17 times, 12 times, it's banged into the pivot. So, if the pivot's inside the initial balance, one, you've got to be thinking yourself, it might not be a trend day, because the probability, and obviously I've only done it 17 times, right? And 12 of them, every time it's done it, has banged into the pivot. The probability on that small sort of amount of data that I've got there would say that it probably isn't going to be a trend day, which helps me then, because then the market, I'm thinking to myself in the back of my head, right, okay, well, if I'm trading a breakout system and I'm trying to get long and the pivot's in the IB, then, you know, like this entry that you're getting long at, you better make sure that it's a really good entry and it looks pinpoint, because if it doesn't, probability will say that we're going to go back and test the pivot by the US Open. So have a look at it, see if you guys can come up with anything about it, and go back and do more back testing with it. But you know, like my daily pivot, as I've said, is it when it's inside the balance, when it's inside the IB, the probability will say that it's more like the market's more likely to come back in to the top of balance and hit the pivot than expand up. So have a look at it, see if it makes any sense to you. Watch it not work today and make me look like a freaking idiot. But it's there, guys. Sum 3 Edge. Have a look at it. No, it's not. No, Sonics, it's not. It's not. I'm not. Sonics, I haven't said that's enough for a decent sample size. I haven't. But when you're getting 4 or 5 R onto a trade, and even on that small set of data that I've got there with it, I would suggest that it's something that you guys and me potentially need to look at more, basically. So I'm not saying that I'm going to base a trading system off 17 pieces of data. I didn't say that. I said, have a look at it. I'll have a look at it and see if there's any potential there for it. Wulong Gaba, I could code that in 20 minutes and test for 3 years, but I won't. No problem. Thank you for that input. That's really good of you. But same as say, have a look at it, right? I'm not saying that you should base all of your trading decisions about it, right? I'm just saying that it's a piece of data. You might be able to use it. You might not. But it's something that's concrete, that doesn't move around, that doesn't change. It's there, the data's there, it might be worth having a look at, right? How do you mark the daily pivot? Right, so IG have the daily pivot set into their platform, mate. They do. So have a look at it. If you can get onto IG, it's free. IG is, you don't have to go on there and sort of I think you can even get a demo account with them and stuff like that, where you could have it on and mark it out for you, Dan. Their app's very good and easy to access, so I would suggest setting an account up. And if you don't trade with IG, just get their app and then have a look at where the pivots are, because it does set them for you. But I'd be surprised if your broker didn't have pivots on there, Dan. They should do somewhere. So for me, I just go into my indicators and it's just daily pivots, and you put them on, and this one works it out as the high and low, previous high and low plus close. So have a look at it and see if you can get it to match mine, basically, and see what you guys think. Right, this one here, could it come back and hit into the pivot? It'd be good if it did, wouldn't it? Morning, Matty. How do you dropped your kids off, have you? Awesome, good lad. So how are you guys doing anyway, everybody? How's it going with your trading? I've noticed in the room there's some people who are putting a lot of stuff in there, basically, and I'm very happy with that. It's good. It's a good little community that we've got. Everybody's very positive. Everybody's willing to help each other. Yeah, go on, Dan. Have a look at it. Go on. Yeah, I think Pro Real Time definitely has it, by the way, Dan. Definitely. Pro Real Time's got every indicator going. I think Pro Real Time's probably one of the best platforms out there, to be honest with you. You could just scale into it, Walter Vanilla Scar, Jesper. You could do, but on that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Because on the days which it doesn't go, on the days which it doesn't happen, like, you're gonna do your arse, aren't you? So you're gonna need a definitive stop. I would imagine, because scaling in's getting, the days that it doesn't, you're getting, like, you've got big problems, haven't you? Yesterday it didn't happen, right? So yesterday it didn't happen. You would be thinking that it would have happened though, right? So let's just look at it from yesterday's perspective. You've got your pivot here, which is inside the IB. Now, at this point here, you get an entry, but it comes back down to test the top of the IB, but it never actually hit the pivot. How I've worked it out is it comes back and hits the pivot. So the potential R that you had in this leg down here yesterday though was huge. Have a look at that. So yesterday's probably more interesting, to be fair. So here's the pivot inside the IB. Yeah, you get the move through it. We don't get the cross until this point here at 9:27. Now, if you just took the first cross and aimed for the pivot, we got very close to it. 56 is, the pivot was at 51. So it's 5 ticks away from hitting the pivot. So look at the potential R there. And this here probably is cherry picking, to be fair, because that looks like a great entry. And although it didn't hit the pivot, it was 5 ticks away from it. But if you were to like enter on that cross there at this point and put your stop above the high, the R that you can build into even getting 5 ticks away from the pivot and taking the rest off at close, maybe. Like, if it doesn't hit the pivot, can you leave the rest of it on until close? I don't know. And just leave it on and cash out? Can you scale out some at the top of the IB? If it hits into the top of the initial balance, is that a scale zone for you? Can you potentially build the R into it that way? So, rather than trying to take every single, scale off at the pivot, is it probably more likely to take some off at the top of the IB? At this point here, hit a scale. I think that's probably sensible, something that you could build in if the R allows you to do that. Just trying to obviously offer people something interesting that I've seen, basically. Let me just see. I don't think there's an entry there for me though. No, there's no entry for me there, mate. None yet. Just found it on PRT. Yeah, have a look at it, right? I'm not saying that anybody's going to become a billionaire by using it. I'm just saying that it's potentially a sequence of something where if the market's that far away from the pivot and it looks like we're potentially getting a reversal, then, like if the probability says, and I know there's only 17 of them, have a look at it, do more back testing. I'm sure you guys who are coders can have a very good look at it very quickly. If the potential R's there when we get a turn, and the probability says that you're more likely that you're going to hit the pivot than not, then I'm sure somebody can build a decent system out of it, right? No entry for me, Matt. No, pal. There's no structure been broke yet, pal. Nothing. Obviously, I need a break in structure or a high to be broken before I can get long. There's potentially something setting up for me though, but we need a structural high to be broke, and I'll jump on the long. Trend the market says he's messed up yesterday, shorted the DAX and ran over me on the open drive, was slow getting my stops on and lost nearly 4R. Right. Was that right? So trend the market there, were you thanks for being so honest about it, by the way, mate. There's not many people that jump on here and are honest, about losing money, so fair enough. That's awesome that you can sort of come on and when people can do that, it means that they've sort of acknowledged the loss and accepted it. So I would suggest that you've definitely done the right thing there, mate, and you're okay with it. It's when you start sort of hiding from your losses and thinking that, potentially you didn't mess up and what you're doing was right. So fair play, kudos, mate. I appreciate it, and I hope that you get back and smash it and get it back as soon as possible. So that open drive, right? Was that 4 different positions, or were you just risking? Did you have 2 positions on? It's same as say it come from nowhere. That open drive did as well. It was as soon as I saw that 1 minute candle take the roof of the IB off. I as I put it on the Discord, I thought I knew it was an open drive. There was high probability that it was an open drive. It was just the pace, the aggressiveness of it. You don't see that very often. Same as say, this is the problem. Like, there used to be probably, if you look back historically on the DAX charts, there's probably 2 or 3 open drives every month. There's probably like 1 now. They just don't seem to happen as much. I don't know why. I think it's probably because people are building different sort of algos to get their orders in. Because I think once an open drive happens, everybody sort of, like if you've been watching the DAX for long enough, you sort of know that the potential for a trend day is there, and maybe they're trying to sort of hide. They've got a different way of getting their orders into the market now, because once everybody else knows it's a trend day, then they're all trying to get long, and then obviously it becomes a bit of a losing proposition overall, doesn't it? But maybe that's the case, because I definitely do think the DAX price action's changed. I really do. I was saying it to somebody, and I'm not just saying that because obviously I haven't made any money this month, but it definitely has. There's something that's just changed with it. It's like if you miss the big day, or you don't make the money on the big day, how I trade, you're basically doing your arse all month, because there's only 1 of them, or maybe 2 of them at the moment, maybe. And the big days are that big. If you go back to Thursday the 15th, I think that was the last big day, or Thursday the 14th of October, my strategy should have made like 8 or 9R that day. And if you mess it up that day, or something happens where you can't get your position on, you are basically up shit creek for the rest of the market. No, mate, I'm not long, Liam. No, nothing for me, and I'm not that's not me trying to cherry pick either. There's just no entry set up, pal. So I don't know if that can help you. Not for me, Liam. But if it's you, mate, I wish you all the best with your position. So you got two positions like normal, 1R each. I'm okay today, back on it. So so you got stopped out twice, did you then, Trend the Market? So that means that you lost the 4R, 2 lots of 2. It happens, mate, seriously. You same as say, you're back on it today, good stuff, good lad. Most people, this is what happens with trading, it really does. I don't know anybody that just makes money every day, every week, every month. It's tough. It's how it goes. Think about me. Think about little old me here, sat here earning no money. It really is tough. But same as say, I've done these videos so that people can obviously see. It might make you feel good about yourself. It might make you feel that you're nowhere near as bad as me, right? Which will be good. Which will be good for everybody. Swifty, you traded tomorrow, stepping away because of FOMC. Me, Swifty, right? So tomorrow, mate, I am going to be trading, but I've got to sort a job out tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to be live. The next live I'm going to do is going to be on Friday. I'm going to do one on Friday morning. Because same as say, the Discord's going now, and it's really good. So how I want to do it is, I would like to do a live on a Monday and a live on a Friday, and then just be on the Discord all week in between. Yeah, this is the thing, right? Matt, you missed the one day. You missed the one day, and you are right up shit creek. I read Linda Raschke's book about that. I think you pronounce it like that, Linda Raschke. I really enjoy her stuff. I think she's very good, how she sees the markets. And she was, in one of her books, she was going on about a trader who was a mechanical type trader who had been breaking even all year, and he designed his system for like the bigger type days. And I forgot what happened. I think something happened in the grain market or something like that. And the one day, his system would have made like 250% in a day. It was like the biggest day ever. And on that one day, I think something happened to him. He couldn't get into the market, or he might have been on holiday, or something had happened to his. I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but I think it's in that Trading Sardines book. And he missed the one day, and it was like the biggest day ever. Oh, hey, up Trend the Market. Yeah, you missed the one day, and that's it. You're done. You're done big time. You weren't. Hey, you're not fading me, mate. Same as say what happens with me is tread water, lose money, one massive day. If I miss that one massive day, it's curtains for the rest of the month, basically. How have you been getting on, Aaron, by the way? Have you had a good couple of weeks? You trade the DAX actively. Let me know how you've been doing, mate. What are your results over the last couple of weeks? On the Discord, some guys are putting the results on. It's good. Some people are smashing it. If you aren't on there, I think you should get on there. It's good. It really is. It's interesting to see. You've got people calling trades out. I've seen more people call trades out on that Discord than I have for the whole of my amount of time on Twitter, and I've been on Twitter for 11 years, and within a week on that Discord I've seen more people calling trades out. So if you're watching this and you're struggling and you're going on Twitter and you just see everybody posting plans and nobody posting actual trades or setups or where they're going to get in the market, the Discord's there, guys. It's free, and there's some absolute ledges in there. It's good. I don't know what the hell's happened with that squid coin, by the way, yesterday. I saw that all going on. I actually think that the top has got to be very close now with everything. It really has. You can't have people making millions and billions of dollars by just being so unproductive. Making shitloads of money. Yes, it can happen, but it's not. It's in no way. These types of things tend to happen at the tops of markets. It's like massive free money, everybody seems to have loads of money, which means then people just risk it on anything and punt into things that just sound absolutely crazy. Everybody chases other people into chasing. And for me, I think it's got to be soon. Like, could we just have one more blow off top? You know, I think the top's very, very close. I'd be surprised if in 2022 we didn't roll over anyway, because I just don't see how things can carry on going up any more than what they have been doing. Is it possible? I just don't see it for me. Like, if you look at charts of like Tesla and the Dow and the US, you know, like the S&P 500, they just look ridiculous. They look ridiculous. It's like a complete joke. And then when you see like these things like Squid Coin, you know, like go up like it has, but then it's gone to zero in a day. And it's like, I just don't see how it can carry on. You know, that Shiba coin, like, why would people... I watched a really good YouTube the other day, and the guy was basically saying like, I think his name's Michael Avery, and he was on Wealthion's YouTube, and he was basically saying, well, why would anybody go to work now and get paid a wage when, you know, like you can just come on the, you know, and buy a coin that's worth $1 billion in 2 days, or, you know, like, and he says like when these types of things happen, and all of that money basically becomes unproductive in the real economy, and people just think to themselves, oh, you know what? It reminds me of like 2007 to 2008 in England, when everybody you spoke to in England was a property developer. Everybody. It's like, you know, like everybody had moved house, everybody was doing houses up, everybody had got buy-to-lets, everybody was like, and it was like the money was just too much. It was like people were just thinking, oh, you know, like I think a couple of our neighbours, because at the time had like stopped working, they had, you know, like given up work and just become like, well, I don't need to go to work, I've got buy-to-lets, they could just keep going up in price. You know, like my house keeps going up in price, I'm doing it up and make... It's not far away when these types of things start to happen that the real economy, you know, like it's impossible for it to keep going up any higher, because the real productivity of all that money, the more that goes into these types of stupid things, you know, like it's very close to being a top at that point. What's going on, Sierra? Oh, fantastic. Congratulations, pal. Amazing. That's fantastic news. Good lad. Congratulations to you both, Sierra. Awesome. To be honest, mate, I was thinking maybe you hadn't been around. I thought I didn't account for slippage. This thing's going to get me in at the top of the market here. I've got 2 minutes and counting for an entry, and there's going to be an entry. My stop's going to have to go beneath this low here. Yeah, look, this is one of them that just looks absolutely horrendous. And it's going to be around 35 ticks. 32 ticks, 35 ticks, let's say. Just awful. I'm looking at this thinking, what the hell? Right, so Liam, your son got offered a mortgage yesterday. He's 19, just insane. It is. I just, for me, same as say, go on to Wealthion, right? The guy that did it, Michael Avery, I think his name is. It was very, very good. One of the most interesting sort of economic sort of things that I've seen. Let me just see if we can get him up so I can show you. Yeah, so triple whammy, spiking inflation. So if you go onto YouTube and type Wealthion in, and it's the guy's name is Michael Avery, and there's 2 parts to it. There's part 1 and part 2, and he's a global top strategy man at Rabobank, and he goes on about like inflation, slowing and broken economy, and the broken supply chains, and what he says, it's like so true. Right, I'm gonna have to hit this. For fuck's sake, I really don't fancy this one, you know. I don't fancy this one at all. I'm going to stay out of this one, guys. It doesn't seem like it's my particularly best setup. It's not. It doesn't look like an actual proper trend day. It looks like it's potentially just a move up. Silence. I don't. See, these are the things now in my head. I've got to obviously really cherry pick, and to me, it would have been putting me in at the highs there. Right, what a fucking head scratcher. I don't fancy it, I don't think. No. I'm gonna stay out of it. It's gonna make me trade it though, I know it is. Sorry for the radio silence. I'm just trying to work out what I need to do. I think the best thing for me to do is, you see, because my strategy there would have put me in right at that point at 83s. So what I'm going to do is, if it goes back up there to 83s, I'm going to hit it. Because the day type is there. But if it doesn't, if it doesn't, then I'm not going to. I'm going to use that high there as my order. So if it pushes through that high, I'm going to hit it. See what happens, because this could also be a top. I'm thinking. Just trying to be completely honest with you guys. Like I'm not struggling, but obviously it's when you're trying to when you I'm trying to just get like really dialed into my entry, and it's how it keeps on happening at the moment with my strategies. It keeps on putting me in at the high or the low of the freaking day. It happened a couple of times last week. Now it's happening live now today, um, and they tend to be shit entries, to be honest with you. So I've just got to be careful. Obviously, I don't want to obviously throw money at it for nothing, but I've still got to carry on trading my strategy to make freaking money. So it's one of them. I'm trying to cherry pick it. I think I can though. I think hopefully I've got the experience to sort of try and sail this rusty old ship through these stormy waters, if that makes sense for anybody. But it just felt like that was a push up then, and it just failed. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it unfolds. Same, so if it pushes back up there, I'll hit it. DAX seems boring. Trade FX. You're probably right. Yeah, DAX has been absolutely awful at the moment, Andrew. It's awful. I don't know what the hell is going on with it. It's just dead weird how it keeps on moving. I can't. If I'm being honest with you, I can't get a freaking good read on it at the moment at all. I just can't. It's dead strange. It literally straight lines, and you're in it or you're not. And if you're not in it, you've got a big problem. If you try to trade an expansion system like me. Liam, you trade the DAX, don't you? I'm not just saying it, right. It has been an absolute piece of shit. It really has. I'd understand if I was like making loads of mistakes and I was fucking my trading up and I was like doing the wrong thing. I haven't been, but it has been really tough, honestly. It's been a reversal traders market the last month or two. So if you've been trading a mean reversion system, you've probably done really really well over the last month, even though we've had huge volatility. Like breaking them lows, and like even the moves up from the lows though haven't been how I would look at them as being like. Because you'd think obviously with us breaking 15k on the daily, once we close back above, that the moves up would be really really good. So I'm sort of licking my lips, thinking to myself, okay, right, I got stopped out. I had that bad day where we broke 15k, and then I lost 3 trades in that day, if you remember. But after that point, I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, well, we've closed back above 15k. Now, this thing's going to go to the upside, right? But even the moves to the upside have been shit. Even the moves to the upside have been like, move up, come back down, freaking consolidate and mess everybody around, and then gap up. And it's like, well, how the hell are we meant to make any money out of that? It's like totally shit. So even like the moves up. So even if you're bullish trading my system, you still found it dead hard, even though the market's going up. And I look back on the daily chart and think once we got back above 15k, I was freaking bullish this market. We're now at 15,871 and I've made no money. So how the hell has that happened, right? How the hell has that happened? We've moved 800 points up. I was bullish once we got back above 15k. You've got to be. I've still made no money, right? It's crazy. But the moves up in the daytime, they've been tricky. They really have. Even though we've gone up, they've come back in. They've messed everybody around. It's been a real tricky sort of sequence of day types. Right, so even Liam, right, he's been trading the DAX years. I have too. It has been absolutely awful. I've never seen a time for a long, long time like it. I think like the end of 2014 was similar. It's been shocking. It's just not moving. It's not moving like I would expect it to, or how I would sort of have any experience of how it sort of rotates and moves throughout the day. It's like crazy. But I'm still in it. I'm like Anthony Joshua at the moment. You've had a couple of knocks, but you're not defeated, are you? You're still here. Still got my account balance. I'm still churning away. And you know what? When it actually moves right, I'm going to smash it. I know I am. I just 1 or 2 good days and my account will be back up to new highs again. I know that. So that's all it's about. That's all it's about, isn't it? Staying in the game. You just don't see that side of it on Twitter. You don't see that side of it on Instagram. You don't see that side of it anywhere where people are on the ropes. They're, in a drawdown, and, people don't ever see that side of it. So when you come on YouTube and you're like, yeah, I'm in a drawdown, I'm not doing very well, people are like, oh my God. Like, this isn't trading. This isn't what I know. I just make money every day. This is freaking trading. This is the real side of it. If you're on something with somebody where they're just saying that they just make money every day, just unfollow them, because they don't. Because if they did, they'd be the richest person in the world very quickly. They certainly wouldn't be on YouTube doing videos about how they trade. Do you know what I mean? They're just not going to be, are they? If they can make money every day trading, why would they want to learn it anybody else as well if they've got something that makes money every day? That would be insane. Liam says he might become a Christmas elf in Tesco's. Me too, mate. To be honest with you, mate, over the last 10 days, I've considered thinking about need to do something different, need a new career. It sucks. Totally sucks. So at the moment, right, I'm feeling like a bit of a ledge because I didn't take that trade. And now, at this point in time, I'd be half an hour down. So, check out Mamba FX. Who are them guys? Oh, do you know what, Andrew? I think I might know them guys. I think I know what you mean, right? Is that the guy that drives around? Is that the guy that drives around in a Maserati? A white one, and he's like oh God, he's such a chav. It's unbelievable. He looks like a total redneck chav type person. Make 1k a day trading altcoins. I think you've got to be careful with any of these muppets that say make a certain amount of dollars every day. I don't know how you could even suggest that could even be the case for anybody. It's insane. You could trade them. It's like these videos where it says like make $200 a day. Like, that is horseshit. It doesn't work like that. It's impossible to say that somebody would be able to do that every day. Oh, right, yeah. I think I've seen that guy. I think he was doing FX before. He's an absolute... I'm not even going to get into it, but he's just a bloody idiot. If anybody's paying that guy or subscribing to him to sort of get signals off him or anything like that, and they're handing over their hard-earned money, there is no helping them. They are gone. They're too far. They're too far down the line. You aren't coming back. I'm serious. Like, you are beyond help. Has anybody seen Tom, by the way? He's been on holiday in that bloody Halloween chalet. Who the hell goes on holiday for a week and stays in that, right? It's like Ansel and Gretel's little house. It's unbelievable. I thought it was dead funny when I saw it. Like, just go to Benidorm for a bed and breakfast for 5 days like everybody else, Tom. Why are you staying in that chalet? Yeah, that Shiba Inu thing's a joke, right? It is, as I said before. I'm sorry, but the top has got to be near. If people can make more money by buying Shiba than going to work, I'm telling you now, the top is very close to being in. It is. When once stupid people that don't know what they're doing start jumping in and getting rewarded in a big way, the top's very close to being in. It's same with the property market in 2007 in the UK. Everybody was a property developer, everybody. And that's the thing, if it's so easy to make money, sooner or later it stopped being easy, because once all of the, the so-called sheep or the people, the latecomers into a space app, and a lot of the time that's very sort of close to being the point when it stops being easy to make money. I Am Academy. I don't know. I think I've seen them on that Forex documentary, maybe. Andrew, were you on our Discord? I don't know you. I've not seen your name in here before. What's your name in our Discord? Are you in there, bud? Be interested in seeing who you are if you are. Making some good points. People quitting work to make NFTs can't make it up. I love everything that you know Raoul Pal. I think Angela put on our Discord a video of Raoul Pal, and she put it on the other day, and I'd actually watched it. It come out on the Friday night, and as soon as it come on, I watched it straight away. I love Raoul. I think he's very interesting, and he's obviously very good at what he does macro wise. He's obviously made a lot of money, and I don't think a lot of it has come from. Don't get me wrong. I imagine Real Vision is doing very well, and he's making a lot of wealth from it. But he actually, has walked the walk, and the guy's driving 911s and all sorts of cars in his Goldman days. He was obviously good at what he did. So I love Raoul. I think he's dead interesting, and I love how he sees the world. But I do think the points that he makes out with all of the NFTs and how it's all gonna blow up. I don't think a lot of it will. I think one or two might, but how he sort of presents it is in this space. It's like everybody that's in it's going to make fortunes, and we're ahead of the time and all that. And it's very. I don't think that'll happen. I really don't. I think a lot of people lose a lot of money. There'll be one or two that do make a lot of money that have got some type of insider knowledge, but most people will do their arse of it. NFTs, all that shit. Most people will lose a lot of money because it's just like the .com bubble, in my opinion. Kurt, so are you into it, Kurt? The NFT space? For me, I'm not into it, and I won't be punting any of my money into that. No chance. Don't get me wrong though. Like once people start quitting work and not doing productive stuff, and everybody jumps into a space because it's so easy to make money, at that point in time, it's very close to obviously being the top. In my experience, anyway, from what I've seen. DAX futures volume have been pretty low recently. Will impact price action. It probably, mate. Probably, Chad. Right, so 80% of the NFTs is a scam. It's just. Don't get me wrong, though, right? If you brought Shiba Inu and you've freaking banked that much money, then what's the point in? I understand why people have a punt at it. I really do. It's I think Raoul put a thread on Twitter yesterday where he's explaining that these people have got no way of making money in the financial industry. Like they don't care about all of the older stuff, the classical cars, the pieces of art, the property. They aren't bothered about buying a house. They just want to get on Reddit and punt into an NFT or a Shiba coin or something like that, and that's their way of. That's the new way of the way the world's going. But I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that. So are people not bothered about commodity prices then? Well, they will be when they're hungry. Like you best be bothered about that type of stuff, because when you're hungry. And you couldn't, like, if that's what's coming of the world and people have not bothered about oil and gas and food and grain and wheat and orange, you best be, because that's what feeds the world. And I just think that NFTs and stuff like that, what do? They don't offer anything. Like, if that's the way that the world's going, where we're not going to be productive as a society, we've got major problems coming down the line. Major. And I hope he's wrong with what he's saying. What's the link to the Discord, Andrew? Do you follow me on Twitter? Have a look in the YouTube top. Follow me on Twitter, mate. I'll put you an invite out on there if you're not on. What do I think of FTMO? You know what, mate? I've heard some good things and I've heard a lot of bad things about them. I've heard that they actively sort of get, how can I put it? The people that are funded by them, there's very few of them. Well, that will tell you that there's very few people that can sort of hit their sort of challenges, isn't it, that they want you to hit to get funded. But then once you're funded, I've heard that they try and sort of change all of the targets and the way that you trade and stuff like that, and eventually, like they sort of work you off their system. It's also very shilly, FTMO is. They're sort of in with a few sort of big YouTube accounts and trading sort of accounts on Twitter that will shill you their service, and they're getting kickbacks off FTMO for every sort of person they provide to their service. If you pay the 400 quid or something like that, the person that shilled it is getting a 10 or 15% kickback of that money to them. So it's all a bit of a shill, and just be careful. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it. If you think you can and you want something you want to do, then go for it, but just obviously keep in mind that it's part of the Twitter and YouTube shill fest, the circle jerk, where everybody sort of, is all greasing each other's hand with a little bit of your money. Now the problem is that 80% of people that go onto FTMO will lose anyway, won't they? Because, as we all know, most traders don't make money. So I don't think that's FTMO's fault that people don't get funded, obviously, because people just don't make any money. My argument to it is the way that they sort of change things once you've actually proved yourself. That to me seems a little bit unfair, and eventually they try and wean you off it. Because if they know all of your results and how you trade, it's not difficult for them to try and change the goalpost a little bit to get you off the fund, is it? Basically. It's basically 99% impossible once you're in there to keep the funding with them without freaking doing your arse. But same as say, it's not their fault that they have so many people that don't get funded, because most people don't make any money. I just don't like how they sort of change the goalposts once you've proved yourself. I think you should just be left. As long as you don't, do your arse, then you should just be left to try and make money, shouldn't you? And do the same as what you've done for the last, however you got funded by them, basically. Swifty, you know a few people funded by FTMO. Is it Ben? Hey Mark, is the Discord still open? Yes, somebody put that on yesterday, mate. It is open. The link that I put on, I think it had a 7-day expiry on it, or a 2-day expiry, something like that. So I'll send another one out today, mate. Have a look on Twitter. Jump on there, and I'll put another invite out. Try and add some stuff though, Ben, if you can. I love people that come on and get involved in it. It's brilliant. Same as said, we've got some cracking traders on there. People share a lot of stuff. I'm trying to keep it as positive as possible for everybody. So if it's positive or helpful or funny, or there's some comedy value to it, then bang it on there. But if it's like negative or aggressive to other people in there, then we've got to sort of, keep an eye on that. So get involved, mate. It'd be good. Looking forward to you getting involved. Oh, okay, yeah. That's the old, no worries, Ben. That's the old cloak and mirror stuff, innit, Andrew? Conscious trading. Make some good points. Are you funded by them, Conscious Trading? Let me know if you are, pal. I'll fire you some messages over. Let's see what's going on. See what's going on in the Discord. See if anything's happening. See the Discord's going off, guys. People are in already. That Richie Reeves is on the pound US dollar. Your average bloke is in the DAX. Kurtz, Dave, Sufjan, who I know from Twitter. Liquidity Scalper is short the DAX. So Liquidity Scalper was getting short the DAX as I thought the top was in as well. So he's short from this point here and he's pointing it out in the Discord room. So he was getting short where my strategy put me long. I didn't get into it though, right? So I'm alright. Angela's in and out of cable. Raz, Aiden. I think Aiden's in the watching me on YouTube. I'm in this just wondering where you moved your stop. But it's good. It really is. It's good. The Discord is awesome. The thing that's worried me this morning is obviously the trend structure that I'm looking at the DAX on doesn't look particularly brilliant. The pivot is inside the IB and it's not something that I'm leaning on, but the structure of the trend didn't look that great, and this candle just looked like it just stretched too far. I much prefer the breakouts in this, like, that are sort of, so that you're not in the top of the market, you're in after a proper pullback. Now, I did get the pullback in here, but then the volatility of this sort of move up put me in at the exact top of the market. And looking back through my entries, when I get put in at the top or the high of the day, a lot of the time I tend to go into a drawdown. Unless it's a proper trend day, which it doesn't look like one, structure-wise, right? So that's why I tried to just box a little bit clever with it. Now, I will hopefully potentially get another entry in long if we pull back, which I'd be way more happy to take, if that makes sense. Head and shoulders setting up here back into balance. Yeah, potentially. That's what I'm seeing, Sierra. I'm hearing on the side that we're potentially going to go back into balance. That's what I'm seeing. A mate of mine trains a funded FTMO account. He's pretty happy with it. Right, okay, so there you go. That's the other side of the stick. What's he trademark? What does he actually do? What's he sort of trading actively? The DAX, same as you, or is he trading other assets? Steve says Bitcoin's up 2% in the past hour. Jack O'Connell says he's with and has no problem with them. So does that mean you're with FTMO, mate? Because it says 5%ers and I have no problem with them. I don't understand that. I don't know what you mean. If it's FTMO though, I get it. Ed Lee's just posted some strategy backtest data in the Discord. It should be straightforward to understand. Fabulous, Ed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, mate. I owe you a beer. I love when people put in the strategy stuff. It's brilliant. I was going to put this pivot data in there, to be honest with you. I'm going to go back and do a little bit more backtesting of it, though, and then put something in there myself about it. So he trades a mixture of ES, oil, and DAX. Awesome. What's the profit split with them, Mark? What's the split down? You know, like, what's the split with them? If he makes £1,000, what's his and what's theirs? Do you know that? If you do, it'd be good to put it out. Oh, okay. They're a different prop firm. Jack, okay, so can you tell us about them? I'm interested. I've never heard of them. Never heard of them before. Check Twitter. Check Twitter. Swifty, are you liquidity scalper? 80% for FTMO, so they get so they get 80% of your winnings and you get 20. Fucking hell. That sucks. Used to be 70-30. Oh, in your favour. So it's the other way round. So you get 80 and they get 20. Am I correct? Have I got that the wrong way round? Higher percentage to the trader. Fucking hell. Swifty's liquidity Skyper. Cool, man. That's awesome. Just followed you, pal. You can't change your name on here. Yeah, I suppose it's all to YouTube, is it? That's right. So 80% to the trader. That sounds alright. I think Mikos's prop firm. I think he's less than that. I don't know. I think he's like 40 to the trader and 60 to the firm. I think, off the top of my head. 90% if you're consistent for 3 months. Swifty, did you say that you were with them? Liquidity Scalper. I'm gonna tweet it out now. Sorry, Andrew. I'll put it out there now so you can see it while I'm on here, so you can get in there. Let's just go to an invite members, share the link to Twitter. Just gonna tweet it out for you now. Join R3 no shill Discord. There you go. Just tweeted it out, mate, so you'll be able to get on there. Yeah, and that split's awesome, by the way. Right, Jack. Okay, so 6 months to pass evaluation. Leverage is quite low at 1 to 6. Not everybody's cup of tea, but as a new trader, first year into it, he's loved it. Strict risk parameters, which has benefited me a lot. 50-50 split. That's cool, man. Can you just put on who they are then? Because I couldn't quite make out their name before on that last one. Ed Lee, watching you second guess yourself on the entry this morning was priceless. Every trader can relate. Imagine if it ripped higher without you. Feel like decision to buy the new highs was logical. Yeah, me too. Me too, pal. It sucks, doesn't it? That, like, I'm not gonna lie to you that it is difficult. I think I'm gonna get another entry here though. Ed's off. Thank you, Ed. Thank you very much on the back test data. It'll be lovely. I'll have a look at that in a minute when I get off here. So I'll have a good delve into it. I really appreciate you taking the time to put it on there, mate. And if we have any questions, get it, Ed, guys. Thank you. He has lots more to share. Awesome. You're feeling uncomfortable to buy highs and sell lows along with a lot of people is really interesting to me, because for my strategy it's literally based on that. This is it, Sonics. This is it. This is there's no buying highs and selling lows though, right? If that's what makes you money, go for it. Definitely. I just know for my strategy when I'm buying this high here, a lot of the time I can go into drawdown. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to get long. I might get long if we can create some structure and break out again, but my stop would still have to go in the same place. So by not buying this high here, my entry would have been at like 84.5 with the spread. I've now saved myself money and saved myself a lot of pain, really. But if we go back up here, like I've said, I probably will take another punt at it. For me, if we do go back up there, we would probably break through there and I wouldn't have to spend that amount of time in drawdown watching the position in the red. And it, like, it might not have come back up. It could have just rolled over here, if that makes sense to you. Look up 5%ers on Google. They have their own website. Watch some interview of the CEO of the company, and it's very informative. On the Evaluate Trader live account, so it's a good experience. So look, says the yen is too strong for an up day. Interesting. Sonics, yeah, fairs. That's the thing, right? Yeah, I completely understand what you're coming from as well. What you're saying, basically, pal. And I know you only mean well with it. But that's the thing with that entry this morning. It would have put me in at the high. And from past experiences with me, if it puts me in at the high, like a middle finger high like that, a lot of the time, the next 2 or 3 candles are red, and straight away I'm sitting in a losing position. Whereas if it was the other way around, where we'd pulled back and we'd got a channel pullback and then we'd broke out, a lot of the time it doesn't put me straight into a drawdown like yesterday. If we would have gone how I showed you and we'd made a channel like that and we're pulling back like this, and then we go, at that point there, it's highly probable we get to that high there, and then at that point, like, I'm not sitting in a position that's potentially going to go into drawdown. These here, they just go straight away. But when you're buying the high like this, it's highly likely that candle there gets faded back in, and that's what I was thinking by it, really. I was just thinking that probably the next candle or two is going to be red, and I'm going to be sitting there in a position that's going to be underwater. So I think I made the right decision, didn't I? Basically. Cute boy, did you backtest the IB strategy in crypto? No, I have another strategy for crypto, but pal, I have another strategy for Bitcoin. I think I've showed it you before as well. I've got a video coming out of it very soon. Tried to do it again the other day and it didn't work for me again. I don't know why. But I think there's something wrong with the video card on my desktop, because I did it on my desktop, tried to send it over to my Mac, and it says that it's unplayable. So I'm going to have to do it on my Mac. But that Bitcoin strategy was made. If you would have risked 1% per trade for October, it would be 17% up. It had 7 winning trades. This is no bullshit. It had seven trades. It had 4 winners and 3 losers. So the 4 winners were for 5R each, and the 3 losers were for 1R each. So I think that's absolutely amazing. And that was 1% risk per trade, and it's returned 17R in October. Now, don't get me wrong, October is a great month for it. It's one of the biggest trending months of the year so far. So not every month is like that, but it was a very good month for that system in October. It was fabulous, because obviously the monthly trended so much. So it's something to watch out for when that comes on. I basically use the first of every month as an IB and a breakout of that. So go and have a look on the Bitcoin chart on a 50-minute time frame and look at how it's moved. Very interesting. Let's have a look, see if another entry flags up for me. So right now, so I can now move my entry down from being this point here, and I will take the breakout of this high here now, if we move through there. And the stop will still go below this low. So if we break out of that high, there, this one, I'll hit it. And my stop's going to go beneath this one still. Does that make sense for everybody? Same as say, guys, there's nothing really happening, is today that good? You know, this is what keeps happening with the DAX. It's absolutely awful. Here we go. Just getting a question, I think. Angela has put, hi Mark, wouldn't your strategy have triggered you long on the break above the weekly R1? Let me just have a look into it. No, it wouldn't. It's not something that I look at, that isn't, Angela. I don't know if you're listening or not, but it's not something that I actively look at. I don't look at the weekly R1 or any of the weekly pivots. I just have the daily pivot on, basically. So no, I don't know if you're listening or not, but I'll type the message out and get back to you as soon as I get off here. Yeah, Kurt. So have a look. Have a look at. There's some slight adjustments that I've made to it, Kurt. By the way, I will have the video out for you, and it's at the top of the flag. No, sorry, Angela. I don't know if you're listening, but no, I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry. I hope I'll get into a discussion with you about it in a bit, and see what we can try and what conclusions we can come to. But no, that wouldn't have been an entry for me. Right, so here we go. Now we're getting to move down. Same as say, guys, right? Sometimes I'm just going to be honest with you. Sometimes the market just doesn't look. Even though we've made a move up, it doesn't look like something that I would be massively wanting to get involved in. And to me, the pace, like the pace is shit, isn't it? Like this is a big thing for me, the pace of the move up. It just seems like, yes, we're moving up, but the freaking pace is awful. It's off. Like, it just doesn't look like, if I look back, and this is what I mean by it, if I look back over all of my best days, they look a certain way. This is something that I try and tell people to do all the time, especially if you're in a drawdown. Go and look over the last month and look at the best setups that you've made. How the charts looked at the moment that they set up. They look, for me, they all look very similar. Very, very similar. This is not one of them day types, which is why I was just a little bit careful on this entry. Now, yes, these entries here can sometimes be profitable for me. They're probably a break-even entry. Sometimes they go and sometimes they stop you out. And, you know, like sometimes you make one at the end of the day at 9 o'clock, you might have made like 1R or 1.5R. But, you know, like they also lose as well and cost you 1R. They're probably sort of like a break-even type of setup, you know, day type. At this moment in time, with me being in a drawdown, I don't want them types of days. The types of days that I want are where we have a freaking solid leg out, a drive out, similar to yesterday, by the way. If we would have broken out and we would have got the leg up, you get a dead tight pivot, and a called pivot from the distance measured from the last high and low before we break out, which means that I can get a dead tight stop on, which means that if it goes, I make a huge R. Now, obviously, I'm trying to cherry pick a little bit here for good reason, though, because days like this, you know, they tend to be sort of break even days. Like buying this high here and putting your stop underneath there, I just know for a fact that it tends to be a bit of a sucker's entry for me, in my experience. Now, I would suggest that if this thing was to roll over here, and we were to sort of pick back up and create some structure, I would definitely be interested in taking a long if we do that. But for me, it's just got to be a tighter pivot. The pace has got to pick up. It's just all a bit too wishy-washy. It doesn't feel like there's anybody who's really directing the flow at the moment. It's just like we're just rotating up, we're rotating down. Like, for me, there's just nothing there. There's nothing to do. You could argue that could be a potential sort of triangle building. Let me just get that off. But it's also like it doesn't really scream out at you as being something that would really sort of get you excited about, right, this thing's really going to go for me. You could argue that that's sort of creating a bit of a triangle, cone, pennant, pivot. But it's touch and go whether it's even really something that exists, isn't it? You're sort of just bracketing off price action, aren't you? For a breakout to occur of a pennant or a pivot like that, the pace has got to pick up. So that's what I'd want to see before I hit it. The pace picking up. If the pace doesn't pick up, it's more than likely going to fail. So, right, so right, okay, so there you go. Sierra's calling a trade out, which is good. So he's on the head and shoulders, Sierra. So he's basically thinking that this is a head and shoulders, and I'll show you what he's thinking because I can see it. I'm sure you guys can too. He's looking at that being a head and shoulders type setup. So he's looking at that being a shoulder, that being a head, and that being a shoulder, correct? And he's saying he's wrong. If price goes above the head, he's wrong. So he's wrong here at this point. I think I'm correct in what he's saying. So his stop's here. How are you doing, Angela? Good to see you in here. Loving the toad in the hole as well, by the way, Angela. I think that should be a popular that should be a section on our Discord where every now and again somebody puts something like that on. It was good. So yeah, guys, if you're on the Discord, it doesn't always have to be about trading. I like seeing. I think Change put on a sunset and stuff like that. It's good because everybody's from different parts of the world. The UK. I think Trend the Market put some coastline on. He was up Sunderland. It's nice to see other people's lives. So don't be afraid of. Yes, we don't want it to become like Facebook where people are putting on what they're having for cornflakes or having for their breakfast. But if you're doing something nice or you're out for the day with your family or you get it on there. I think it's good. It's positive. It's nice to see other parts of the world, what other traders are doing with their lives, what view you might have that day. Like if you're cooking something good for your family and that type of thing, it's all good. It's positive. I really enjoy that type of stuff. So don't be afraid of putting that on. If that makes sense, I really enjoy it. Let's all fade Sierra. Yeah. You know what, Sierra? Fair play for coming on here and smashing that out live. Fair play, buddy. I hope you get it right. He's got nappies to buy, Sierra has. Nappies and milk. He needs all the help he can get. He's going to be short of sleep. He's got a lot of hard graft coming up. He's going to be very short of sleep. And that's a bad combo, that is, by the way, sleep and not doing trading. I find if I don't sleep very well, I'm awful. The brain just goes dead slow. Oh no, I'm not getting another long signal why Sierra's getting short. I hope not. So we're going to have I could have one setting up here, Sierra. Could have a long setting up as you're getting short here, Sierra. do it. He doesn't feel confident with this either way today. Angela's gonna, yeah, do that. Bouche de Noël, awesome. That is amazing. Yuletide log, that would be good. I'm looking forward to that, Angela. Starting to feel hungry, even talking about it. Trend the market. Anyone with a losing week should have to spend some time in the Toad and the Hole section of the Discord. Mate, I would be in there constantly, that's the problem. I would be constantly in the Toad and the Hole section. Maybe we should make it a section on the Discord, by the way, guys. Maybe that should be a section. I think we should, that'd be awesome. And like if you're doing anything socially, or you're out, or you might be having a walk, or you're walking across a beach, or you're making something like a Yuletide log, the Bouche de Noël, get it on there and we'll look at it. We're going to call it the Toad and the Hole. That's what we're going to call it. That's amazing. I love it. Homemade pizza. Get it on there, Angela. We'll get it. I'm gonna do it when I get off. I'm gonna make a different section called Toad and the Hole, and anything that anybody's doing socially. Like it'd be nice to see like Mark Wogan, wouldn't it, in Spain, or like having his Guinnesses or whatever where he was the week when he had a bad head. Like in the bar in Spain or whatever. I think it's good, just to see. There's no positivity on social media. Everybody's just trying to ram expensive things down people's throats who basically, to try and sell them something. But to see real life on there, to see people that you feel like because like you're on the Discord chatting between each other. It's just good to see, like what the real life is like. What I really enjoy it. It can only be positive anyway. I love it, Angela. Get it on there. We can spend Christmas Day with you, Angela, on the Discord. Yeah, so when you're doing your Christmas dinner, I'm sure it will be absolutely legendary. I'm sure it'll be very good. Mine was awful last year. I cooked my own turkey last year and duck, and it was the worst Christmas dinner I've ever had. I'm not doing it again. It was terrible. It was like freaking something off Bottom. When Eddie and Richie make their Christmas dinner, it was awful. It was just so bad. It just wasn't enjoyable, and I put so much time and effort into it. It was absolutely shit. So I'm not doing it again. But if we could see you, Angela, doing yours, that'd be amazing. See what a proper one's like. So get it on there. It's a good idea, I agree with you. Can you hire Lambos? No Lambos. Sorry, Ian. You've got a Ferrari anyway, Ian. You don't need to... Ian's got a Ferrari, right? He's got a Ferrari California, Ian has. Not a hired one, an owned one. And he's a trader. He's not on Twitter shilling it, trying to like take pictures of himself in it. But he has got a Ferrari. It's really nice. It's a red one. I love it. It's gorgeous, by the way, Ian. But what a ledge Ian is. He's got a Ferrari and he's not on social media like ramming it down people's necks. He just enjoys having a Ferrari at home and driving it himself. He's not trying to be on Instagram trying to generate signals from having it. But yeah, put some pictures on there. It's just interesting to see everybody's lives, basically, in a snippet. Not that glamorous. The inside of one Irish bar the same as anywhere else in the world. Yeah, man, I agree with that, Mark. But you're in Spain, man. You're living the dream. You're living my dream anyway. You are living the dream. For me, anyway. Interesting, isn't it, how different people perceive the market differently. I agree with DJ Khaled. You never want to be the smartest one in your room anyway. In the room. Yeah, he has, Matty. Swifty live stream. Matty, he's got a Ferrari and he doesn't take pictures of his laptop on the passenger seat with cash laid out on the seat and a laptop with some random freaking MT4 chart open. He doesn't. It's amazing, isn't it, that people can have like that type of car and not ram it down people's throats on social media and just enjoy it for what it is. you know, like for themselves. I think that's amazing. It's a good trait to have in your personality, and Ian's got that, and I love it. It's very good. Most people who get a car like that would be constantly on social media taking pictures in the seat, so the Ferrari signs in the back and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like the old, I'm taking a selfie, but I'm not taking a selfie of me. I'm taking a selfie so you can see something I've brought in the background. Like, there's so much of that on social media that goes around. It's like the first thing that people do is like get a Bentley and take a picture of it, like so that the Bentley logo's on the back of the seat and they can see it. Like, it's true, innit? It does. It's a bad thing about social media. So yeah, Mark, get some of the beaches on in Spain. Let's get some pictures on there. Let's see what you're up to. Every time I look at my outside my window, it's grey and raining. It's not stopped raining in Congleton for like 3 days now. It's been absolutely awful. It's just nice to see somewhere different, especially because I'm not allowed to go anywhere because I'm the great unvaccinated. I'm going to make that Discord tag. I'll do that when I get off, by the way. We'll have a social one that people can put stuff on. Oh my God. Angela's Yuletide log looks the business. I'm having a bit of that. Absolutely amazing. Oh, I bet that goes absolutely lovely with a cup of tea, Angela. You can't beat Yuletide log and a cup of tea at some point on Christmas afternoon. That's delicious. How can you not like that? Do you do deliveries? Is Angela married? It looks really nice. I'm a massive chocoholic as well, I am, so that to me is like heaven. Your average bloke has got short the Dax. I think he's thinking the same as Sierra and he's going to roll over. But look at the pace of this, guys. Look at the pace of it, right? It's shocking. Like, it really is so bad. It's not even moving. It's fucking shit, this market is. I'm sorry for swearing, but it really is. It's driving me mad. There's just no pace. This is what it does. It seems to ramp and then just sit. And then what'll end up happening is it'll just go, if it does break out, it'll be a straight line straight out. It was like, and you're either on it or you're not. And if you've gone down, make a cup of tea, or you've gone down, let the Amazon driver in, there's no way of getting back in the market. It just seems to come from nowhere. Look at this, like, what is the DAX even doing? It's just absolutely awful. We're still inside this candle's range here. At 850. They're not making it easy, are they, at all? For anybody. If you're trying to get long or short. Right, so anyone want to see sunny Stafford? Is it sunny in Stafford then? See you later, Dan. Take care, mate. Have a great day. Victor's got a vehicle that's worth 1.5 million quid. It's a tram. Alright. Nice one, pal. It's grey and wet in Spain today. Oh, God. Oh dear, Mark. I'm sure it'll be sunny again very soon. That's the thing, though, isn't it? If you have a few wet days in Spain, you know, right around the corner is going to be some decent weather. In England, it's just freaking one day after the other, just totally shit, grey, rainy. That's the only reason you want a Ferrari, Sierra. I know it is. It's a massive shill. That's why most people have them. They're trying to sell stuff off having that vehicle only. Ian's is nice though. He should put a picture of it up on the board. I don't think he will do but he should do. It's a nice car. I've seen it. It looks ledge. Really nice. potentially a long setting up here, but the things that are against me are what? The pace is not there. Looks like it's going to have a move out of that pennant. We put him. Now, I will hit this if we get the breakout above 82. Is it? No, is it? Yeah. 81. If we close for 81, I'm gonna hit it. We've got 4 minutes of this candle left though. And as I've said to you, if we do get into this region 83, I'll just hit it anyway because that was my old order. Let's get this up. Stop. £2 on. Let's have a look. Yeah. Let's see what happens. At times like this, the pace can just pick up and come out of nowhere, you see, so it's something that I'm trying to keep my eye on now. FOMC tomorrow, probably stifling Momo at the moment. Yeah, there's no momentum, is there? You got so bored you nearly closed this trade in a protest, Sierra. You either stop me out or pay me for folks. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. They're the worst, them trades are, that just don't do nothing and they just sit and it just sits there and nothing happens. Like that for me kills me. That it just does my head in. I way prefer to just get stopped out straight away. And just know that it's done. The worst trades in the world are the ones where it just stops and then nothing happens. And it constantly makes you think like, should I be getting out of this? Do I need to close it down? Should I do nothing? You know, like you just want some type of decision, some movement. Markets are shit today. I agree with you. Looks like we could have had a little fake out candle there, just in the making. This one. The one thing I will say is when you're getting a breakout like this for a decent pennant, the pace, you do need to see the pace pick up, in my opinion. Like at the moment, there's no pace, is there? You know, there's no movement, there's no sort of, nobody's pushing the market out in a proper way. It just seems like it's, like to me, it feels like it's just algos, this does. It doesn't feel like there's anybody big who's like, you know, thinking, right, I've got to make these orders, I've got to fill these orders, I'm gonna have to, I don't care about this pennant, I'm pushing us out, we've got to do business. To me, this is just algos that are sort of working people, tricking people into getting in and getting out of the market. But what I have seen with these types of moves is so all of a sudden the pace will just explode out of nowhere, like this that's happening now maybe, and they just come all at once. It's like the algos just flick a switch and they come on, and at that point you're either in it or you're not, and that's it. Jesus Christ, is it even moving? Has my price feed stopped? What the hell is going on? It's not even moving. It's fucking so odd, this market is. Is my price feed stopped? What a piece of shit this market is. It's gonna go. Back in at my old order level. Too big. The fucking pace has dried up again. Come on, it's gonna have to go now, so I'm gonna have to pull this if it doesn't fucking go. There's no pace. You're buying the highs with no fucking pace. It needs to go through it. It needs to push through. It's got to go. There's fucking no pace. I'm sorry for swearing, but there's no pace at all. Have a good day, Jack. See you later. See you later, Dave. I'm going to call it a day here, guys. I'm in the market, right? I've got an entry, but I don't know what to do with this. I might just sack it off. It's like the pace just dried up again. What the fuck is it doing? Go on, you bastard. Just go up, for Christ's sake. If you don't, I'm going to pull it. Like the measured move target for me should at least be that, the size of the pivot, like that. We should be at least aiming for this area here. So like 9/12s out of that for a little scale, but this is fucking dried up on me. I know it has. I'm gonna pull it. the 5 minute doing? No, I'm pulling that straight away out. Done. Done. I'm going to pull it. Simple as that. Fuck 'em. Don't care. Got to be disciplined. Yes, we can go back up, but it just didn't. It just the pace dried up on me, and that's what I was worried about. And then we've had a decent pull away from this level already. So for me, I pulled it. I'm out. Can't keep holding stuff basically. Does that make sense, guys? I pulled it. What's the small amount again? So I hope that you've all seen that. So yes, fair play. I'm going to get off now anyway. Strategy's just doing its nut at the moment. But the pace is what puts me off. That's the number one reason, right? The pace. We need the pace to pick up. As you're going through a high, as the market's breaking out, the last thing that you want to see is the stall in pace. It's like the drift of death for me. It's like, you know, yes, we might just spring back up now and something could come on and we could just go straight back up. But if everybody's got the chance to buy the highs and it's dead easy for everybody, it probably doesn't work out like that. The worst thing for me is if you buying close into a high is for the pace to stop and then it to turn and roll over. Yeah, I need to see the pace go up. So even if this does go up now without me, I wouldn't be too bothered, because at the end of the day, more times than not, by getting out of it as it dries up and turns against you, you will be right more than you're wrong, in my opinion. So what I would do next though is, if it give me another entry is the £7 that I've already lost, I would then take that off my actual next position. So rather than risking 60 quid, I would risk 52 or 53 basically. I think it was like £7.90 I just lost, so that it keeps my overall risk in check, so that I'm not, if it's the same day type and the same setup, I basically take that amount off the next position. And I know that if it actually goes, it ends up costing you a bit, but I found that by doing that, basically, you know, like for me, I want to focus on not losing rather than winning on a day type that isn't the exact really good day type for me to be making money on the big days on, which looking at this now, it's definitely not. Now, yes, the strategy can still pay you 1R or 1.5R, but it's highly unlikely now with the day type that we've got that we get the big day like the 9R or the 8R, if that makes sense to you. So that's how I look at it. And as I've said to you in the start of this video, I'm looking at the overall day type, and if the entry isn't exactly good on the day type, I get out of it straight away like I've just done, because the day type's not quite right. So does that make sense to you with what I'm saying? So have a good one anyway, guys. I'm going to get off anyway. Dave's getting the sauna. Awesome. I like the sound of that. No sauna pics. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you soon on the live stream. I'll probably do another one Friday. And I'll see you all on Discord. If you aren't on there, hit me up and I will give you the link. You're welcome to come in, and I'm sure you really enjoy it. It's good. Take care. Have a great day, and I wish you all the best in your trading.